Welcome. Welcome to 2025. Welcome to something new. Welcome to something groundbreaking. Welcome to something historic. Welcome to something unprecedented. Welcome to the Culture Critic Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Nicholson, and it is a cold night here in the city of Chicago, but it is warm in my heart because this is something that I've been wanting to get off the ground for a long time now. There's been interest in it, and here I am. Here we are. This is the Culture Critic Podcast, and I'm so glad to be here to welcome you to this first episode, to this pilot episode, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But just what we endeavor to do here is to be open and honest. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is taboo. I will keep it real with you. With all of our guests, anything we talk about, it will be uncandid and 100% raw. And we just want to have a good time. We are in the truth-telling business. We are in the loving business. We're in the uplifting business. Well, we're also in the critic business. So, we want to talk about all things culture. What does that entail? What does that mean? Many people in 2025 count the culture as Black culture. That's what we call it, the culture. And so we'll be talking about Black culture. We'll be talking about different aspects of culture. We'll be talking about different cultures. And we will be critiquing everything because I don't know about you, but I was born in 1990 and things are not the same 35 years later. 2025 is different than when it was when I was growing up. And so we want to talk about all things culture. We want to be critical. We want to uplift, and we want to see how things could be better. And we want to look at things from a critical point of view. I mean, that's what we're here for. And so we're going to talk about all things culture and all things. Nothing is off limits. I assure you, nothing is off limits. And so for our pilot episode, I want to talk about being canceled. I want to talk about 2025, there's a lot you could be canceled from. There's a lot that will cause you to be canceled. And I want to explore some of those things. I want to explore cancel culture. People seem to be so sensitive nowadays. People seem to be as much truth that is subjective nowadays. People get hurt by some of everything. And I want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Why is society so sensitive? Why is society so different now? And not only that, but is there space for us to rebound from cancel culture once someone is canceled? And so I want to take this pilot episode to just talk about a few things. I know, in TV, when pilots air, things can go either way. It can be, you can have a favorable review. You can have a favorable review and your series gets green lighted. Or if you don't have a favorable review, your series can get canceled prematurely before its time. And so let's talk about it. I am a huge movie fan. And one movie that is deeply ingrained in our culture, in American culture, certainly African-American culture, is The Color Purple, right? You told Harpo to beat me. How did he die? On top of me? You better not tell nobody but God. All these lines, right? And so even I tell you what, Tyler Perry's plays with his portrayal of Medea really kind of revamped the love for the color purple. It really, even so in my generation, ingrained the lines more so in the culture. And so all those, all those taglines, all those things that they say, it's kind of just, it's a part of the culture. It's a part of us. And so The Color Purple really is one of my favorite movies. Steven Spielberg, this white man who had these consultants, who had these movie consultants that actually got it right. I mean, it looked like the South. It felt like the South. It sounded like the South. I mean, you could taste the South in the movie. Just from the wind chimes, from the way the children played and they walked, the way they walked to church, the way the children hung out the church door in the wedding. I mean, it's the wardrobe. It is just, that movie is the standard when it comes to me. Like, it's like that movie and Ray are the standards when it comes to getting the feel and the culture of the South right. My dad's family is from Mississippi, and so from southern Mississippi, to be exact, Jackson County, Mississippi, Moss Point, Mississippi, Three Rivers, Mississippi, to be exact. And so I really, I gravitate to movies like that when it shows how the old days were, when it shows how things were, when you hear stories. My dad is I would say he was somewhat of a griot. Like he was a library of knowledge when it came to family and family stories and family heritage and family lineage. And so that movie just gives you though it was supposed to be in Georgia, I believe. Yeah, Georgia, because Suge went up to Tennessee. Yeah, it was in Georgia. Though it was, no, I'll take that back. It was in Tennessee. The movie was supposed to be in Georgia. And so we'll talk about that too. So it was in Tennessee, and I will fact check that in the next episode, because I want to be right. But Mr. and Celie and Nettie and Suge Avery and the Preacher and Harpo and Miss Sophia. These characters are just larger than life, and it just reminds me of people that I've heard about and people that I've experienced in my own life, growing up with a father who was from the South. And so I want to talk about, when it comes to regards of cancel culture. I know the 2024, I think, was it the 2023 film, was adapted from the musical version. And so there's some differences there. And so in the movie, you see Celie says, till you do right by me, everything you think about is going to crumble. Everything you think about is going to fail. And so you see that he's toiling the land after that. His house is breaking down. He has no family. He has no love. He has no children. He has no wife. And so you just see that his life begins to deteriorate from that point on. But in the play, which was turned into the movie, and even that, you can just assume that he was kind of like on the outskirts of their society. People knew that he was bad. People knew that he was a bad guy, that he was abusive, and things of that nature. But in the movie, I was kind of astounded, and I had never seen the stage play or the musical prior to the movie coming out. And I was really taken aback when he was invited back into the community, when he was loved on, when he was invited to a seat at the table. I mean, it were all the vile things that he did, and he was even more vile when they show, the gunplay in this in that version with us. I think it's Domingo. I forget his first name. Is it Solomon Domingo? Yeah, but he with the gunplay, he didn't use a gun in the other movie. He just kind of used his hand. And so you see, and even I feel like it was like antiquity, like it was the banjo playing on the porch was just like, it was like, it kind of gives us like a glimpse of that like Civil War era, that type of, a Shogun farewell type of song. And so that he was playing and made the character even more sinister. And so, but yeah, with all of that he did, he was welcomed to the table. He was given a seat at the table. Do we save space for people to be redeemed in our society? Do we save space for people in 2025 to be redeemed? Do we save space for people who have done us wrong, who we know have done us wrong? Do we save space for those people to be brought back into society, or do we keep them in a box of deplorables? I'll wait. Do we love on people who have done us wrong? Is that a possibility in 2025, y'all? I'm just asking questions. This is my first episode. This is the pilot. I'm just asking. I am establishing a culture on this podcast that we should think differently. We should learn to see things from a different light. I'm establishing that the norm of 2025 and of these times can be challenged, right? But also on that same token, I'm petty. And so I rushed yesterday, I rushed home, got my son from school, and I was watching, it was a big night for WWE. As anybody who knows me, you will know this on this podcast. I am a wrestling fan. I am a professional wrestling fan. So if you do not like professional wrestling, you might as well leave now. You might as well unsubscribe. You might as well block me, because pro wrestling is my thing. I grew up with it. My brothers, watched it when I was coming up, even though I was scared of it at the time. But, we played the games. You went to go see it live, things of that nature. And so I am a wrestling fan. My brother's best friend, Mike, and he's one of my best friends too, is my big brother, was a huge wrestling fan as well. So the video games, the shows, pay-per-views, all that. Videotapes back in the day. Mike would bring us videotapes of WrestleMania back when it was pay-per-view. And so it's a big, huge part of who I am. And I know, that stuff is fake. That stuff is fake. You hurt my feelings? No. It is not competition. It is exhibition. You will hear that theme a lot. It is not competition. It is exhibition. But anyway, back to Raw on Netflix. The first night it was on Netflix. It was a nice night. They had Roman Reigns against Solo for Tribal Chief. Whoever won got the Ulafala. Different things like, I think Seth Rollins and CM Punk, their rivalry came to a head, and they kind of treated it like a WrestleMania. They kind of treated it like a big show, a big profile show, but it was just the first time Raw was on Netflix, which was major because, other than that, people would have to, from around the world, would have to see it cast at a different time. So this time it was a simulcast all around the world, one feed, and everybody can log in at the same time to see Raw on Netflix for the first time. So it was pretty huge, pretty big night. And the night was big. The Rock was there and all these other people were there. But what messed it up for me, and it hurt me, and just like I heard Kevin on stage say, I wish I wasn't a Hulkamaniac as a child. But and that's, maybe we'll talk about that in another episode. But Hulk Hogan came out. Hulk Hogan, who had given so much to WWE, the only other person rather than Vince McMahon who has given more of his image to WWE, right? And, you have your Cenas and your Stone Colds and your Rocks, but Hogan is the standard when it comes to popularity, when it comes to being your hero, when it comes to being your babyface, right? And so Hulk Hogan came out with Jimmy Hart. I don't know why Jimmy Hart was out there. Maybe it was a soften the blow. But Hogan got booed. They booed him out of the stadium. They had to have turned his music up 2 or 3 times. They booed him out of the stadium. And he looked like he was in shock. It's like, what did I do to deserve this? It's like, you are a bad human being. He's had racist rants and And, I told somebody, I think the Shade Room said he got booed. And I was like, yeah, I booed from home. And I did. I did not want to see him. He just seemed like a dinosaur. He seemed like he was someone that was extinct. It's like, between his race relations and it hurts me to say this because Hulk Hogan is a Christian now, right? He's my brother in the Lord, brother. But he I don't know if he can redeem himself from this. And not only that, a lot of people didn't appreciate him being a Trump supporter. I mean, politics are big. I am not a Trump supporter. And people don't, he's oh, you tried to kill my president, brother. And he's on the Republican National Convention. And it's like, he just seemed like a dinosaur. He just seemed like no one was willing to play along with his kayfabe because of his personal life. And if you don't know, if you're not a wrestling fan, kayfabe is what they present in front of the fans. And so like the Undertaker, he's supposed to be the dead man. So his kayfabe, he had this mystique around him everywhere he went for 20 something years, almost 30 years. He wore black and he walked a certain way. He presented himself a certain way. And so he's just starting to break those things and break those personality traits to be free, with his children and his wife. But, and so nobody was willing to go along with Hulk Hogan and his character because of his character off camera, because of his character outside of WWE, because of his character when the cameras are not rolling. People were not willing to relive that nostalgic moment, of him coming out and ripping his shirt and all that, because of what he had done and because of his reputation. And so in that regard, I know I just asked you guys to forgive, but in that regard, I'm petty. In that regard, I need to pray. In that regard, I need to forgive Hulk Hogan for his indiscretions. And I know I can do that because he hasn't done anything to me personally. But I booed him. And I was glad that he got booed in the arena. Does that make me a bad person? Because I cancel Hulk Hogan? Does that make me a bad person? Does that make you not want to follow me? Does that make you not want to eat lunch with me? Am I not at the cool kids table because I cancel Hulk Hogan? It just goes to show that in 2025, anyone can be canceled. Anyone can be canceled. So guys, that's the tone you want to set. And I think that's a good place to stop for now. But this is the Culture Critic Podcast. And I'm your host, Nathan Nicholson. Until next time. See ya.